Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Radelet from Georgetown University School of Foreign Service. The news today is full of stories about the deteriorating relationship between the United States and China and the cost to both countries of these problems. We have problems in trade and the barriers being established across both countries and how it will cost both economies huge amounts of money. Stories on security and the cost to the budgets and the threats of conflict between the two countries. Stories on health and how the deteriorating relationship is creating a threat to public health in both countries. Stories about foreign affairs, how allies around the world are being forced to choose to align with one country or the other, which is driving them crazy and really making things difficult for those countries. The stories of the costs of the deteriorating relationship provide some insights, however, as to the enormous potential benefits if somehow these two global superpowers could begin to work cooperatively to fight common problems such as climate change and disease threats. Stronger cooperation would lead to economic gains, gains in trade, gains in security, gains in health, and other benefits that would help all countries involved, China, the United States, and other countries around the world. Many people think that this just isn't possible, that there's no way that the United States and China could work together cooperatively, given how difficult the relationship has become and how the two countries are treating each other. But history actually teaches us quite differently and shows how countries that were once rivals, even bitter rivals, even violent enemies, can begin to work together cooperatively as allies for the common good. One obvious example is the United States and Germany that went to two wars with each other, where they were the bitterest of enemies. And now Germany and the United States are extraordinarily close allies. The same is true between the United States and Japan, once the most bitter, violent enemies, now the closest of allies. And if you look at the European Union, it is full of countries that historically went to war with each other, fought with each other, set up trade barriers against each other, didn't trust each other, and now they've set up the most successful economic and political union in world history. These examples tell us that it is quite possible for countries that have had an adversarial relationship to come out of that and to begin to work cooperatively together. It may take a long time, but the cooperation between the United States and China is possible. And when it happens, it will help both countries as well as other countries around the world. One place where these two countries could cooperate much more closely is in global development, with both countries working together with low and middle income countries around the world that are trying to improve their economic and social well-being. There are several areas in which the two countries could work together on development, including food security, disease surveillance, donor coordination, debt relief, enhancing domestic revenue collection so that countries are more self-sufficient, and agricultural research, just to name a few. Any or all of these would help all of the countries involved and would put the low and middle income countries on surer footing, thereby making them more stable and the world more stable. Working together on these kinds of initiatives would help the United States. It would help China. It would help low and middle income countries around the world. It would help build alliances where all of us can work together to solve common problems. This is a long-term initiative, but its success would make the world a much better place, and it's something that we should all work towards. Thank you.